Alrighty. You guys good? Alright. So we left off, we talked about Spanish exploration in the New World. Obviously, their exploration and the money they were making off that exploration is going to lead to the French wanting to get into the game. You guys nailed it. The French want to make money. They want to get involved in trade. They want to find gold. But they also want to find a northwest trade route to Asia, to China, to Japan, India. So they are going to send a couple of explorers early on. The first is an Italian explorer by the name of Giovanni de Verrazzano. Verrazzano will explore present-day Middle Atlantic, present-day New York, and will make his way into the mouth of the Hudson River. This will give the French claims to that area of the Middle Atlantic. The next explorer, just a decade later, that will be sent to find a Northwest Passage will be Jacques Cartier. Cartier will explore the mouth of the St. Lawrence Seaway. That is near or in the area of Newfoundland and Nova Scotia. He will explore the St. Lawrence Seaway, claiming Canada, the Huron word for settlement, and will have a friendly relationship with the Huron along the St. Lawrence Seaway. He will claim Canada in honor of France. This will inspire a full settlement, and as Ben brought up, trading posts to be established at the turn of the century. An explorer by the name of Samuel de Champlain will explore from the Chesapeake Bay all the way up to the claims of Verrazzano, New York. And on the next mission, he will explore Cartier's claims along the St. Lawrence Seaway. This is where he will establish the trading post city of New France, Quebec. Anybody been to Quebec in here? Cool. Nice. So we're going to be talking more about Quebec when we get into the next couple of lessons, because Quebec's going to be the center of New France along the St. Lawrence Seaway. It's also going to be the scene for some conflict between the English and the French in the French and Indian War in the late 1750s, early 1760s. Champlain will go from the St. Lawrence and explore all the way out into the Great Lakes. He'll be considered the father of New France, giving France a claim from everything from the St. Lawrence Seaway and eastern Canada to Canadian provinces north of the Great Lakes. A group of Jesuits, as mentioned before, I believe Kai mentioned the Jesuits before, are going to go on a two-part exploration and mission trip to convert natives in the Mississippi River Valley. Remember that we talked about Cahokia and the large civilization and natives that lived in the Ohio and Mississippi River Valley. Father Jacques Marquette and Louis Joliet will be the first Europeans to explore the Mississippi River. They will also explore part of the Ohio, and they will make their way to present-day Louisiana and Arkansas. Remember, the Ohio flows into the Mississippi, the Missouri flows into the Mississippi. Marquette will fall ill, pass away. What's crazy is that a number of their group of explorers that were with them will make their way back to New France on foot. Another really important French explorer is Robert de La Salle. De La Salle will explore the Mississippi River in its entire length from north to south and reach the Gulf of Mexico. He will claim everything west of the Mississippi in honor of King Louis XIV, hence the name Louisiana. So the Louisiana Territory will be named for Louis XIV of the House of Bourbon, grandfather of Louis XVI. We'll talk about the House of Bourbon and the King Louis a bit later. So why are the French there? Originally to find the Northwest Passage, but they stayed put because somebody, I can't remember who it was over here, brought up the fur trade. Who said that? Nice. The fur trade keeps France around. And there's going to be an alliance that the French will form with the Huron. They'll form an alliance with the Algonquian. They will become enemies of the Iroquois. They will intermarry with Native American women. There's more cooperative relationships between French fur trappers and traders, known as the, pardon my horrible French dialect here. Do I have any French speakers? Okay. The Coureurs du Bois. Did I say that? Did I say it all right? It's okay. The runners of the woods, right? They're trappers and traders. So you see less families coming over to settle unless they are Huguenot families or Acadian Catholics that are trying to spread the word of God. You see more trappers, traders trying to come over to make money. So what these trading post cities are money makers, okay? And if you went to Quebec to this day, they're primarily speaking French in Quebec.
They banned English in some places.
All right.
No, it's not just only French.
So we have Verrazano, Cartier, Champlain, LaSalle, Marquette, and Juliet here. And then I'm going to wrap things up with Dutch exploration. The Dutch want to find the Northwest Passage. They hire an English ship captain, navigator, and explorer by the name of Henry Hudson, who takes that crew to the area in which Verrazano claimed present-day New York. He will explore the length of the Hudson River, which bears his name. The Hudson River west of Manhattan and New York into the interior of upstate New York. He will take an additional journey where he will sail into the bay that bears his name, the Hudson Bay. His crew will mutiny. They will leave him and some loyal followers at sea in the Hudson Bay, and they will return. Henry Hudson and the crew that stayed with him was never to be seen again. This gives the Dutch credit for New York City, the settlement of New Amsterdam, parts of the other parts of the Middle Atlantic, and it also leads to joint stock companies like the Dutch West India Company controlling settlements, leadership, real estate, imports, exports, and making a whole lot of cash in that process. So here we have Henry Hudson on the top left, an original sketch of a map of New Amsterdam, which we'll break down a bit later. Can you see there? You got the battery. And then what's that that separates the farms from the little settlements? It is a wall. It is what? It's now known as Wall Street. Yeah, that is now known as Wall Street. And here we have Hudson's crew left in the Hudson Bay after the mutiny of 1611. All right, so a quick breakdown. Everything up in red is in British hands in the colonial era. Everything in blue is in French hands. Everything in green is in Spanish control. Everything in sort of like a tan color there is Portuguese. And the purple should also be up in the area of New York as well, because that was under Dutch control. So remember, the Caribbean is also taken by different countries during this period of time. Did you guys have any questions for me? All right, there you go.